Yo, podcast family, this is Albert Tate, the Albert Tate podcast. Listen, I'm having a great time having some amazing conversations. Get ready. Today, we've got gospel royalty, really music industry royalty in the building. We've got Warryn and Erica Campbell. They sat down and gave me some time. I'm in their house. They got Grammys in the background. It was an amazing conversation. It's going to inspire you. This is what we're talking about. It's all about moments that shaped us, right? I wanted to know, how did they take big leaps? And when you take a big leap, when you make a big faith jump, it shapes you. How you handle that determines whether you take another one after that. So we talked about big moves, big faith leaps, and what they had to do to take leaps. Their careers have been phenomenal, but they didn't get there not being sacrificial. You are going to be inspired. You're going to laugh. Oh, you're going to laugh. And you're going to be challenged as you listen to this amazing conversation with Erica and Warryn Campbell. Let's go.
Stadia has had the honor of helping hundreds of great leaders start new churches. We have a passionate desire to make sure that every child on the planet can experience the overwhelming love of Jesus Christ through the local church. This vision compels us to ask one very important question. Who's next? Who are the leaders that God is raising up to plant new churches? Who are the leaders that will answer the call to say, I'll follow, I'll raise up this generation, the next generation to know Jesus Christ and to change the world forever? Are you ready to start your church planting journey? Perhaps you know someone who is. Stadia is ready to help, and we'll be with you every step of the way, because we won't stop until every child has a church.
Hey, welcome to the Albert Tate podcast. The Campbells are in the building.
Hey.
Erica and Warryn, thank you guys so much for letting us in your home.
Absolutely.
Man, these Grammys in the background. Warryn, because you produce all kinds of, do you ever feel you're going to go to hell for all the secular music you done made? Like,
I used to think you were going to hell. I did. There was a time.
I bet you, and did your mama think the same thing too?
Oh, yeah. But you know what? My family, they, when I would say, he ain't going to church and he working with Death Row, she said, don't tell him what to do or what not to do. Just pray that God don't open any doors that he's not supposed to walk through.
Because you was up in Death Row. Warryn used to produce Death Row, just ungodly music. Just Tupac.
And Snoop Dogg.
And you partied all of it.
It's not about me. It's about what the Lord does to you. No, I think it's fascinating. And I think, we were talking earlier, I think you have anointing on your life to bring people that wouldn't even think twice about church. Yeah. Warren's he's come from Death Row. What's the name of the book? What's the book title? Do we want to give it away?
Well, we're gonna name it from death to
death
life.
to life.
Yeah.
He went from Death Row to now being a preacher of life. He planted a church.
Yeah.
California Worship Center. But I think because of the work that you did, like you've got all kinds of folks that will probably never go through the other Second Baptist or whatever church, but they'll come.
They're not going to Ebenezer
and sit and listen to you because of that. So I think God, Romans 8:28, He worked it all for His good.
Yeah.
All of it. He uses everything. There's nothing lost on God. That's that's the story of my life. He's used every instance, every negative thing, every positive thing, and stirred it all up in the pot.
Yeah.
And I've been able to drink from that thing.
Yeah. Well, it's been amazing to sit on the sideline and just see how God has used both of you guys in your life. Y'all got this new reality show. How's it going?
It's going great. We've enjoyed it immensely because it is family, but it's real. I think it's the same thing that so many other parents and stuff go through. We have had our moments where there was one time we were filming something and I didn't like his tone. And so I was let's not do that anymore. I didn't like that. That didn't feel good.
Oh, wow.
And I was concerned about me, but I didn't want people to see him and think he was a jerk.
Did it make it on? Y'all cut it out of the show?
It was in there.
It was in the show.
The story was in
there.
there.
It was a moment where we were FaceTiming, and that disconnect. I was completely joking the whole time, but I didn't know she was serious.
Oh.
And so I'm playing around, and she's taking it serious, but she can't read my body language because she's not in front of me.
Yeah.
So I started sensing she was getting upset. I said, "Wait, why are you?
What's happening
I'm just
here?"
playing.
Right.
No, you had a great comeback. My wife says hello, by the way. She's a big fan. She's a big fan of the show. But you said every man stuck his chest out when you said, I can't read minds. I can't read your minds.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, but you can read emotions.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that was good. That was good. Every man in America was like, oh.
Because when we quiet and we're not talking, that's one-word answers, the look to the left.
So good. Yeah. That was good.
And I think I do a good job of reading the emotions, because when she gets really quiet and we're in the car driving and she doesn't look at me, she looks out the window the whole time and she blinks really slow with one-word answers. So I'll ask her, and every man that has done this with his wife, what's wrong? And what do they say?
The lie.
Nothing. And so I've decided I'm not going to ask you a million times what's wrong with you. You're going to tell me what's wrong with you the first time.
But I think
but sometimes you'll say, I know something wrong, and you'll tell me later.
Yes.
That gives me great peace, because I'm like, at least you know.
Yeah. But so and so my wife knows, I don't care if anybody else even cares about this, but this is worth for my own marriage. When we do that still don't give us no peace, because it's like when your mama say, I'm gonna whoop you.
Later.
I don't know when, but I'm gonna whoop you. So now I'm sitting around waiting on the whooping to come, trying to remember what we
process. Like, I have to figure out what I'm mad at.
At least give me a clue, so that way I know and not be making up stuff.
We don't know. Sometimes we have no idea.
Sometimes y'all are really creative with how you come up with what's wrong. Y'all are really creative. But this ain't the couples episode. We'll come off of that.
Me and First Lady got to talk. Listen, that's for her podcast.
That is for sure. Enjoying the show, enjoying what you guys are doing. Each week, we talk about moments that shaped us. And as I think about God's hand on y'all's life and what you guys have done and what you've accomplished, and also the challenges and the cost that's come. This week, I want to talk about believing God, believing big with God. Moments in your life when you believed big and had to trust and had to step out, and it was nothing there. It wasn't no assurance. You just had to trust. Okay, God, you're calling me to something bigger than where I am. I got to trust you. Yeah. Tell me about a moment when you believed big, Warryn, for your own personal life.
Oh, wow. One thing was I knew that Erica was supposed to be my wife. And so I was in this place where I wanted to buy a home.
Hold on, I'm sorry. You say that. Every single man that's dating somebody right now asks one question. How did you know?
I knew because there was something in me that wanted to be with her 24 hours a day. I wanted to talk to her all the time, and she was on my mind so much. And I just wasn't that guy. If you knew me back then.
I was what? On your mind what?
All the time. No, let me tell you, I'll give you a small example. I dated this woman for 3 months or something. I went out of town to New York and hung out, came back home, and 6 months later I said, where'd that go? I haven't talked to that woman in 3...
Out of control.
Wow.
About 9 months. What happened? And I called her.
That's bad.
Yeah, and so that's the kind of guy I was. I would totally forget about you.
That poor child. Where is she?
Terrible. He's sorry.
Boo Quisha.
Quee.
We so sorry. He still ain't called you back.
Because I was in a marriage already. I was married to my music. And anything that wasn't music, I was totally focused on that.
Wow.
She became such like this thing with me. I was like, yo, I don't know what's going on. I'm thinking about her all the time.
Wow. So you wanted to get a house?
Yeah, so I wanted to get this house. And so I asked her to marry me. And my business manager tells me, you don't have enough money to do all this stuff you want to do. You want to build this house. You want to, and I don't want to buy a house, I want to build a house. That's another thing. You want to get married. This is a lot. Like, you don't have the money to do it. And so I'm standing in this open field, a plot of land with my father and the builder.
Wow.
With knowing that I had in my bank account maybe $4,800 at the time. I'm 23 years old. And the guy tells me it's going to cost about $800,000 to build this house here. And in my mind, I immediately said, nah, that's crazy. But then I looked at my father, and his faith came out of his face. He was like, 800, that ain't nothing. And like he was going to help me pay for it. But what was on him jumped into me.
Wow.
And before I knew it, I was saying, yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna sign the paper. Let's do it. And my business manager, who is she loves me to death, but she was so mad because she was like, why would you sign off on something like that? And she was even more upset that at this point I wasn't blinking.
Wow.
I was just like, yeah, I just know I felt it so strong. She says, you have to make this amount of money because you still have to pay the taxes on the money before you can spend it. So you have to make double. And I just said, okay, I'm gonna do it. And so I made double the amount that I needed within 6 months.
Wow.
To build the house, get married, buy the rings, go on a great honeymoon, do all the things I needed to do. And it happened like that. It had never happened for me like that in my entire black career.
Wow.
But
your black career.
Yeah.
Now your Asian career is a whole other
That's
story.
a whole other story.
But your black career never happened.
But you know, that was a huge, thing for me personally. And I'll never forget that.
Do you think the moment was seeing the faith of your father and allowing the faith of your father to inspire you?
That's where it started. When I saw my dad's face and he was like completely sure that I could pull it off.
Yeah.
Then I got sure.
Well, it also speaks to the power of community. You need to have people around you that can have a faith that can transfer upon you.
Yes.
And people around you that can believe bigger than you. Because if faith can transfer, imagine if you would have looked at his face and he was like,
Exactly.
Doubt can also transfer.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Don't be using that at the California Worship Center now.
He will.
This Sunday. Because what he did was he told me who I was right there.
Identity. Come on now. Come on.
Yeah.
And so you got to have people around you that see what God sees in you as well. So he
so
saw
good.
that. He saw in me that, yeah, you can do this.
Yeah, that's good.
So my dad has that kind of confidence in me. How can I not have it?
Let me
in
grab that. Let me grab that.
So,
Erica, what about you?
It would be when my faith became my own. So growing up as a preacher's daughter, and my mom's an evangelist over the choir, my uncle, my aunt, everybody, they're my leaders.
Yeah.
So they're my go-to. Like, I have faith in God, but more so faith in them.
Yeah.
You know? What do we believe? What are we saying? It's we, it's us. And my sister was dating a guy who was in church, but he didn't love the Lord just yet. And so, he had been drinking that night and he was making fun of me. He was saying, your faith ain't your own. That ain't your faith. That's theirs. That's your mom's faith. That's your dad's faith. You ain't been through nothing. What do you believe for?
Oh, wow.
And I went to my room and I went, I don't really have a testimony. Like, everything I've been through, by way of my parents going through, you know what I mean? That was their trial. I was just along for the ride. So whatever blessing I got, it was really theirs. And I really started asking God, I want to know you for myself. So I was so intentional about knowing and understanding God because, growing up in church, there are so many things that don't make sense. There's so many things that don't necessarily line up with the word of God. You can just believe because they said. Who is they? I don't know, but we give they a whole lot of power. I know I did.
Right.
They told me. They said. And I wanted to know for sure. So I was on a plane and I started writing down the scriptures because I was like, I don't really, scriptures? I was just writing down, what do I know? I didn't know all the locations, but I was like, do I really know? What do I know? Do I just know the songs? Do I just know what they've taught me? How much do I really know? And I wish I could find that notepad, and I was just writing down scriptures. And by the time I got on the third page, I got so excited. I was like, I do know you.
Wow.
And I am sure.
Come on now.
And I don't have to ask them everything because sometimes as a young believer, everything is, well, let me double check with y'all. Like, I know I think he said, but you hear him better than me.
Wow.
It was when I gained confidence in my relationship with God. Now, I still believe in counsel and going to my leaders and elders, but as I progressed in my life, I was very sure about what God said to me, about who I would become. And it governed my decisions, my choices, who I dated. It was the reason I gave those 2 previous rings back when I was engaged because I didn't want anything to hinder my call on my life. Even when we got married and I had to, leave that church. Like, for some girls, that's like a sin. You can't leave the family church. And sometimes people hinder their own spiritual growth and maturity because they have this allegiance to their parents. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't honor leadership, but if God is calling you to something else, you have to trust that. And if you don't have your own relationship, you won't. I know grown people who are in their 30s and 40s and still not sure about what God said and not sure about where they should be moving. And I believe that moment in my life allowed me to really trust what God said. Even when nothing looked like it was supposed to look and nothing felt like it was supposed to feel and nothing made sense.
Yeah.
I was like, but I know you said this and you said if I believe without a doubt. So if I question because they don't know, then I'm doubting you.
Yeah.
And that means my faith can't be fully in action.
That's so good.
So,
That's so good. You know what's fascinating about that is that God used a drunk fool to inspire you. Whoever his ex-boyfriend is, we should call him out, look him up on Instagram, and say thank you because of you. I found my own faith.
I found my own.
Wow, that's amazing. And I think a lot of people go through that journey where they've got to discover it on their own. The beautiful thing about that is you didn't have to go to the pit to find it.
No.
He actually pulled you in the air to
Jesus.
find it.
Yeah,
That's
a lot
good.
of us get on autopilot and we stay in church for years.
That's good.
We stay in church, but we don't have this love for God. We love it because it becomes our norm. You know, this is what we do on Sundays, and we go to this event, and we go to this one's church, and there's not a real joy, a real fire for God that lasts after Sunday.
Yes.
I wanted to love Him on random Wednesday, not because it was Bible study, just because I had that communication and that relationship.
Yeah. Now, both of you guys have an amazing career. Y'all like super couple. I was looking at this little article of y'all when y'all got married or something like that. They called you top 5 weddings of the year super couple or something like that. Back then, I didn't read the articles in Jet. I just looked at
The pictures.
the beauty of the week. Page
In the
20,
middle.
you know, right there in the middle, right there in the middle. Anyway, you know, the Lord has brought us from a mighty long way.
Mighty long.
When you think about your careers, though, like I think there are people that are believing God big for career moves. When do you know when it's right to leap to that next thing? How do you know when it's there? When did you all in your career have an opportunity where you was like, I can stay where I am, or I could take a big leap and risk it all? When has that happened to you?
For me, that was, I'll tell you, it was 1996. I was in a band backing up the singer Brandy, R&B singer Brandy. She had just had this huge run, her first album. We did an 8-month tour. She sold 4 million records. I know I'm in the band playing keyboards, but I'm a songwriter. And I want to write songs. I want to write and produce songs for her. And I had conversations with her about it. I had songs that I had written for her. She said, I'm gonna cut these songs and all this. And so the second album came, and so I was ready to go. I was like, okay, I'm a producer now. And it didn't happen. So we're preparing for this next tour to support this album that I am not a part of. In rehearsal, I said, I can't do this. I felt it was strong, it was so strong, I quit in rehearsal.
You have another job?
I didn't have another job. I didn't have anything else.
And this is a pretty big deal because she's one of the biggest artists at that time.
She's huge.
What drove you to walk out of the rehearsal?
The fact that I did not have one song as a songwriter on this album.
Yeah.
I'm going out to support this artist and play on her tour, and I'm not invested. I have nothing invested. I have no song on the record, you know. And so I told the MD at the time, I said, man, I can't do this. I got to quit.
Wow.
He said, what? What do you mean? Because if you know Brandy, she's very close to me. She was in my wedding, you know what I mean? And so after that, you know, and so I left, and I just said, I got to write. Nobody's going to take me seriously.
Wow.
As a songwriter and a producer, if I stay in this band, they're just going to look at me as the guy in her band. And so not even an hour later, she came charging up the driveway of my parents' house. They live in the hills, so I just seen this car coming up, and it was her. She jumps out, what's going on? I heard you quit. And, you know, I was like, I said to her, it was funny how I said it, because I hadn't written a song for anybody of note. I hadn't had any songs published at all. But I looked at Brandy and said, Brandy, I'm a songwriter now.
Wow.
I am. Not I want to be.
I'm a songwriter now. And so I'm going to go out on this tour, and I don't have one song on the record. So the next album she did was Full Moon. And that album I
One
did.
of the greatest albums of all time.
Yeah, great album.
He Is, which
I had a
is
song
probably
called
the
He
greatest
Is
song.
On that album.
No way.
Yeah, and then from there I went on, and I just checked it. I have a playlist that we just put together for Spotify. And it's Warryn Campbell's inspirational songs, Warryn Campbell's R&B songs, Warryn Campbell hip hop songs. All together, it's
You heathen, you nasty heathen. I was in the spirit until you said that. hippity hop music.
hop.
Man, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
But it was over almost 400 songs, man.
Warryn,
Yeah.
you declared that you were a songwriter in the driveway of your parents' house.
Right there.
And went and did it.
And went
With
and did
no
it.
publishing deal and no song.
After that,
written.
I got the publishing deal. The publishing deal was done.
So help me understand, how do you get a publishing deal and you don't have any songs of note?
Because the song that I wrote for Brandy at the time was so good, right? Let me tell you what she did. It's not that I was just not on the album. She actually recorded the songs.
I
wrote a song for her on the road, took it to a publisher, and he said, I love this song. What are you going to do with that? I said, I'm going to get Brandy to do it. He looked at me and said, yeah, right. Because she's so huge. She's like, how are you going to do that?
She's not going to do it, yeah.
She came to my mother's house in the garage and recorded the song. I took the song back to him with her voice on it, and he gave me the deal.
Wow.
But the song never made it to her album.
But that's how you got but God used that to get you the deal.
Give me the deal, yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So what do you think, what's the lesson for someone who's stuck and they're about to go on tour, another year at a job, another year in a relationship, another year on, but they're about to sign up for another year in their mind and their soul and their spirit and say, I'm just stuck here because what I was waiting to be handed to me wasn't given to me.
Yeah.
So what do I do? What advice do you give them?
At the end of the day, you know, it sounds really simple, but believing in yourself.
That's such a big deal.
Betting on yourself.
Yeah.
Investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Those three things. If you believe that what God gave you is bigger than where you are, then you're going to have to take a step out of the comfort zone, out of where the normal, out of the thing that's probably paying your bills, but you know your time is up there. And so a lot of us, what we do is we ignore the expiration dates in our lives.
Yeah.
Some things we can't get to the next thing because we're still in an expired relationship. We're still on an expired job.
That's so good.
And the expiration date is up.
We're
still trying to smell the milk and see if we got anything left, you know.
Don't taste that
Can
milk,
I jump
it's done.
in a little bit?
Jump in.
When you stay in a place that you know has expired, it's fear and doubt that nothing else will be there.
Yeah.
That what if I don't make any more money? Which implies you're not fully trusting God. You're trusting the job, the career, the relationship.
Yeah.
What if no one else loves me again?
Yeah.
This is not ideal. It's not that bad. So you start making concessions for yourself, your life, your destiny because of your fear, not because of what God said.
Yeah, that's
and
so good.
it cripples and handicaps you from really moving forward.
You know, another thing that you said, both of you said, and you both have done it, and I've seen you model it. Because when you give advice like this, it scares me that the wrong people will do it and they really ain't good.
Yeah.
But the way you said it, you said, bet on yourself, invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Lazy people ain't gonna do that.
They're not going to do it.
They want
Because
somebody else
they know
to do everything.
they betting on somebody else making a way for them.
Exactly.
But if you willing to believe in yourself enough to take the risk, 9 times out of 10, you got the tenacity, the grit, and the gifts to actually make it happen.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Betting on yourself, believing in yourself, and you knowing I'm a songwriter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you believed in the gift of it, and I've seen you both bet on yourself with your careers. There's no way.
Yeah.
So it's a trusting in God, but sometimes I think we trust in God and we use it as an opportunity to be lazy and not so it's like, I'm just waiting on Jesus, and if Jesus don't come, I'm just gonna sit right here. No, Jesus is waiting on you.
Let me tell you something.
There are
God,
people that move forward and it's not their gift and calling.
Exactly.
Spend a lot of money. I know parents who've moved to California spend a lot of money on a child that is
just not that gifted. Like in California, in Los Angeles, I mean, y'all see it all. Everybody wants to record an album. Everybody wants to write. Everybody thinks they the next Baby Dub. They think that they the next Erica Campbell. They done went and bought your hair. They went and got some eyelashes, and they somewhere now deceived, listening to your album, singing help, and somebody needs to tell them.
Journey.
They don't know the journey, and they're building it off of someone else's identity, and
Absolutely.
they've got a skewed view. See, they want fame and success. They don't want ministry and calling. You know, it's a big difference. Sometimes the other comes with it. A lot of times it doesn't.
Yeah.
There are better producers. There's a producer somewhere in Ohio in his basement that could kill your track
all day.
That kill your track. Will never have fame or success. Got to be content with where. So it gets
they're
all
everywhere.
tainted. You know what I mean?
That's hard.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
hard.
good.
That's challenging.
Erica, what about you? That professional leap when you believed big for God.
It would be my solo album.
Yeah.
It would be that whole movement and how God kind of shook my foundation in order for me to get there. So what a lot of people don't know is I didn't grow up singing in a group. I wasn't always singing with Tina. That happened kind of coincidentally, like 18. She was 16, I was 18. We met Warryn shortly thereafter and became a group. But for most of my life, I was the solo singer. I was trying to find producers. I wanted to be signed. I wanted to be an artist.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
my whole life. And a lot of it was, Tina, we can do this. And she's so talented. We did it.
Yeah.
God's grace, his talent, his gifts, put that together. And we made magic for 20 years. But when it was time for me to go solo, I was on a plane. Again, what is it with me and planes?
Lord and
God,
planes.
he likes to talk to me on planes.
He likes to talk to you when you're close to him.
When you're close to him.
I was on a plane.
I'm about shy.
Hey! And he reminded me of my original dream of what I wanted to do. And it wasn't always with Tina. And he simply said, I didn't forget. And so even though when I first started, even Warryn was like, I don't know what you sound like as a solo artist. I don't know what that music.
I don't know what to do with you.
I don't know what to do. Literally.
Wow.
Not lay in the bed with this man.
Wow.
Then won Grammys with this man. And when it came to me by myself, he wasn't convinced.
I don't know what that voice would sound like consistently on across 10, 12 songs.
A whole album. Because some people, let's be honest, we don't want to hear on 10 songs.
Plenty of people told me that.
A lot of people. But
They
you don't
told me
have
that.
that kind of voice, though.
No, but I was like, what you
were
doing
like-
by yourself? Like the first comment that struck me, and I probably still need the Lord to deliver me from it, the song was I Need a Little More Jesus. The comment was, you need a little more Tina, honey. What you doing? You're the pretty one. She's the singer. What are you doing? And I would go to do interviews and they'd be like, this is cute. Where's Tina? When is Mary Mary? I still get that. So much so till I tell people, listen, we're going to do another record. But it's okay. I know that God has done so much for me, to me, and through me in this season of being a solo artist. From a faith perspective, from trusting him, trusting me, trusting my voice, just learning so much about who I am that I believe was a total God thing. So a lot of this success, I'm always a little like, wow, like you really gave me exceedingly abundantly.
But before you got there, you really had to fight for you.
Yeah.
A lot. And how did you find the tenacity and the grit to fight for you?
I believe
even when this dude who knows you better than most didn't know what to do with you.
I believed what God said. I believed the dreams that I had as a little girl. I know that I dreamed of being on stages singing before thousands. I know that. And it came over and over and all the time. And when it would be with Tina, I was like, yeah, Jesus, this is what you promised. And then as I stepped out on my own, he was like, no, this is what I promised. Not that didn't have purpose, because it did.
Obviously,
clearly. But this was something else for me.
What internal, like what happened within you to actually take the jump and draw a line in the sand and say, I will be Erica Campbell. I will be the artist. Like insecurity, fear, like what did you do with that? How did you process that?
How did I process that? The word of God, like my favorite scripture, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6.
But do you remember talking to Tina, talking to people?
I really didn't talk to Tina a lot.
Yeah.
Because of the place that she was in.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is she gonna do? Like, I'm a chronic people pleaser. I'm a chronic, how are we okay? How are we doing?
Yes.
So
reading the room.
What are we? How are we? Are we all fine?
Yeah. I guess what I'm digging for is for the person that's still having the internal conversation about taking a big leap. Recognizing that externally, people probably won't understand it. They won't even know what to do with it. How do you have the conversation with yourself in order to keep going? Rehearsing the word of God, but because I think that's what's significant about your story. You had a conversation with yourself and the little girl that was promised some things from God. Yeah. And you just begin to fight for her. You know what I mean? So I feel like how we talk to ourselves in faith and in the spirit is a really big deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I talk to myself a lot.
Yeah.
This is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
It's okay. They just don't know yet. I would do that even in the studio. Like when I was singing, the note would be bad. And he would ask, why did I do that? And sometimes I would go, well, I did it because, and I would like, let's just do it again. Because I know the good is inside.
Yeah.
So no matter if I messed up, because I've messed up on stage, all that kind of stuff. I know the good is inside.
Yeah.
And maybe this moment was bad, but the next one will be great.
Yeah.
And so I just talk myself off the ledge and, move myself forward in my own faith of what I know God said. My ability to sing, to stand on stage, and for some reason, when I first came out as a solo artist, they were not fooling with Erica Campbell. Like, I had hosted the Stellar Awards 3 times.
They weren't giving you the love.
Oh, no. They said you got 1 minute and 34 seconds and you're going to sing in a segment with 4 other female artists. I was like, I can't even sing the whole song? No. And Warryn said, you're either going to do it or you're not. So I talked to some of my other gospel artist friends, and everybody was upset. That is not fair. You have won at least 30 awards. He said, go and sing like it's your last time.
Take that minute and 15.
34 seconds.
And make it to where they can't even remember what happened before or after that.
I had a choreographer, I had lighting,
we did it all.
You would have thought that I was preparing for an hour performance.
Wow.
1 minute and 34 seconds.
Wow.
She maximized it. And just to bring context to what she's talking about, her first solo album outsold the last Mary Mary album.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So so you take the leap, and there's something that happens when you jump. When you get that first gush of wind that carries you, when you catch flight, you know what I mean? Do you remember when was the first time you caught flight? Was when you heard the song back in the studio? It was when you hit a certain sales mark? Like, when did you catch flight and you was like,
I'm gone?
It was 13 weeks at #1.
Wow.
And the album was 13 weeks at #1.
Wow.
Like, the first week I'm going, oh, this is good. 2 weeks, 3, 4, 5, I'm going, oh, really, you meant it.
Wow.
I heard you right.
Because what happens? Does it come out every Monday, Tuesday, and are you checking? Is Misty
every
calling you saying, girl, what? Like, how does it work?
Well, you know, the distributor at the time would call me and say, hey, it looks like we're going to be #1 again.
Wow.
We'll know for sure on Tuesday. And they'll call me, I'll let her know, you know.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it was
amazing.
It was an amazing time. And just so you know, I was unsure what to do with her until we did the first song.
Which was?
A Little More Jesus.
So that was, and that was
Which
such
was nothing like anything I'd ever done.
It was such a unique grabbing. What was the thinking behind I Need a Little Bit More Jesus?
She was in the closet. Our bathroom's here, and the closet is in another part of the room. I heard her in the closet singing, I need just a little more Jesus. And she just kept saying it over and over again. And I'm like, what is that? She said, what is that? She said, oh, that's just what I need.
Where did that come from? Was he getting on your nerves or something? And you was like, I need a little more Jesus?
It was a troublesome season of Mary Mary. Tina saying she didn't want to do it anymore. Losing my manager. My dad having cancer. Knowing that I have to start something that I'd never done before. Knowing I had mentioned it to him and he was like, I don't know. So there was so much up in the air for me.
Wow.
While still trying to be a wife and a mother.
She was folding clothes.
I was folding clothes. And had we started the church yet?
No.
But we had the Bible study. So it was still like,
so this phrase, this chorus came from a real place.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So she, you know, I think she was kind of she just felt empty. So she was saying, I need a little more Jesus.
Yeah.
So I asked her, I said, what is that? She said, that's just what I need right now. She kept singing it.
Oh, that's so good.
And then we started singing it together. I need, and we were just playing, and then it became fun.
Yeah.
And we would do it. It was like 3 or 4 days we were singing it, just whatever. It was just singing that part. I need a little more Jesus. I need a little more. And I said, let's record that. She was like, really? I said, yeah.
That's amazing.
Then Tina comes to the studio. And she helps us finish writing it. She sings backgrounds on it and everything. And you know, that's our team. That's our core. We have success separately, but with me, her, and Tina together, there is no chemistry. I've worked with every artist on this planet. There is no chemistry that I've ever had like that chemistry.
That's amazing. To know what that song has done and how God used that to catapult your career. And to know that that's how God gave it to y'all. Like you two and then Tina to boot, like to put that's amazing.
And Tina came out and you could tell she was struggling because she had just was going through things with her marriage. And she was, crying in the session.
Yeah.
She didn't even want to be there, but she just drug herself to the session. She was low and wrote that verse.
She wrote problems at work and problems at home. Won't everybody just leave me alone? I'm trying to fix you, but I can't. I'm trying to fix you, but I can't fix me. I gotta find help, so I'm on my knees. I got an ache right here, a pain right there, not enough power, need way more prayer. Seem like it's so hard to pray. Guess that's why I lost my way. I need just a little more Jesus.
Come on, Tina.
She wrote it in 5 minutes.
Come on through. Now, side note, you know that you're responsible for about 6 strokes and 7 heart attacks from old ladies on choir anniversary Sundays trying to do that verse. You can't breathe. They can't breathe. Somebody get Sister Harris. She done fainted trying to sing Erica Campbell's song, Jesus.
I've seen it. Thank God for YouTube and Facebook.
Hey, I'm telling you, you got to have some breath. To pull that thing out. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, last one. I want to talk about y'all's marriage. Has there been a time when you had to grab each other's hands and take a jump together, not knowing how it's going to land, but knowing we got to believe God because we can't stay where we are?
Well, I'll say, for me, it was because our first child, she wasn't planned, and we decided we wanted to have another child, and so we started doing what we do to try to have a child.
Thank you, Jesus.
First of all, y'all show we gonna have to almost make it R-rated.
No.
As much as you talk about booty and sex.
I told him.
You like it. You egg it on. You be smiling, squirting on the other side. Not squirting. That's not the right word.
Say it.
That's not the right word. That ain't
Pause.
That ain't the right word, Saint. That ain't the right word. That ain't the right word. I guess.
I get
Anyway,
you.
Now my podcast is rated up. Thanks, Campbell.
It's not us.
Thanks, Campbell.
First X-rated church podcast.
Right. No, but
Wanted the son. Wanted another child. And
I wanted a boy.
Trying, and
Intentional.
nothing.
We actually lost one.
Yeah.
And so there was something that happened where, it was God ordained. I was asked to come to Houston to be a part of something called, it was a youth conference at Dr. Ivy Hilliard's church.
Yeah.
And so it was a 3-day thing. I was going to be there 3 days to talk to the kids. They call it what they call a pregame show before the actual thing started. I would come out, me and this guy, this radio host, and we would talk and get the kids pumped up. My wife wasn't there. I was staying in Houston at their home, and she decided, you know what, I'm gonna come down the second day. So she came down, actually the third day. She came down, I brought her out on stage with me. But that morning, we were having breakfast, and Dr. Hilliard says, you should let my wife, Bridget, pray for you guys. Because I mentioned the day before that we're trying to have a kid. And so he says, my wife has an unusual anointing on her life regarding fertility.
Wow.
He said she prays for these. I'm talking about people who could not have children. I'm talking about they've been trying
Done the shots and done all
did everything.
That. Yeah.
Wow.
And she prays for them, and they can't stop having kids.
Wow.
So, I trust God, trust me. But when it comes to things like that, I'm one of those guys that be like, yeah,
Yeah.
Bless his heart.
I'm a little skeptical. Don't come. The Lord told me to tell you.
Well, because there's a lot of stuff out there. So it's a lot of stuff out there. But
so I had to take that leap and accept. So I just said, okay, cool. But I didn't say, yeah, we're gonna pray later on. I just kind of shook it off. So that next day, Dr. Bridget, we were at the church. Dr. Bridget calls me and her in her office, and with her daughter Arisha, who's now the pastor of the church. And she said, I'm going to pray for you guys.
Wow.
I think maybe 4 months later or something like that, 4 or 5, we were pregnant with my son.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
that's amazing.
He was born, and like a year and a half later,
Zay was born.
We had another one.
The anointing. Can you lift the anointing?
Can you lift the anointing?
No, I saw her. I was in Dallas. I went to Bishop Jake's house for something, and I was walking in his house. I'm walking. They were having a dinner. We went there for something. I walked to Bishop Jake's house, and she was walking out. I said, Dr. Hilliard, Dr. B, can you listen? You need to undo that prayer. She said, no, I don't. Listen, I just pray for it.
I don't take them back.
Listen, I don't do that because that's divination. I don't
I love it. I love it.
No, that's good. Erica, would you, same story?
I would agree, I would agree 100%. Because we didn't, we're so faith-filled and we're such big personalities. When something doesn't happen, I think we just kind of are very quiet, and reflective, like what's going on? Is it us? Is it, is it me? Is it him? What is it?
What is it?
But we try our best not to get to a place of fear. We try not to get to a place where we just give up. Oh, well, this is not going to work. If we believe something, we believe for it. Even if sometimes your faith gets a little low, you have to stay in faith. You have to remind yourself of why. Sometimes we use the scriptures, well, I believe God in them. But if he doesn't, you know what I mean? Which I don't know what that safety blanket is.
That little bubble of doubt that you got, little doubt pillow to fall on.
Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But he promised it. So why would you promise me something like this? It's the same as me promising my kids ice cream all the time and never giving it to them. If you told me, if we said we want to be fruitful and multiply, why would you not honor that?
That's good.
What is it, And so we just go full faith mode, even when, like I said before, when it doesn't look like it, nothing is mirroring what we want. We have to stay in faith.
I think I feel a Bridget Hilliard anointing on me. I think there's more to come. God is not.
Listen,
that's free.
Send that back.
I receive more in the way of other things, but children,
children, we'll send that back.
Right.
We'll send that back. There's a thing that we do at our church. We have question of the day every Sunday, where we give a question of the day, and I want to end every episode with just like a blast of questions, quick answers.
Okay.
Some are interesting, and some are deep, but just rapid fire answer questions. All right. We'll go back and forth with both of you guys. If you could join any musical ensemble in history, which would it be?
The Hawkins.
Really? The Hawkins?
That's good.
I'll join the Hawkins.
It would be the Winans.
The Winans. Look at y'all. It would have been the same era, and y'all would have been on tour together.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice.
We still would have met each other.
Nice. What is something that everyone else loves that you think is overrated?
Something that everyone else loves, but I think is overrated. Oh man, you trying to get me in trouble?
No, come on. Why are you looking like that? Do y'all have the same answer? Like y'all's faces right now are a trip.
For music
and.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it.
Say it. Come on.
Everybody goes crazy over this lady Adele. I'm sorry. I think she's overrated. Good. I think, but I'm not gonna stand at the concert and cry.
But there are people who will lose it.
I'm like, oh, I don't
like when you've loved a Whitney.
Yeah.
When you've loved an Aretha, a Gladys, a Patty.
So you co-sign
and it's not a black thing.
You co-signing on this.
I'm not taking that away from her because she is good. She's good.
Yeah.
I'm like,
great songwriting, great production.
But it's like, whoa, this is a bit much.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those guys. I get is caught in debate. What do you mean she's done? Yeah. I'm like,
and people start talking about sales. Well, no slight to, to listeners and ears. People like anything. They like William Hung.
Yeah.
She banged. I mean, so how can you gauge? I sold a lot of records. So did William Hung. What does that say?
Yeah.
There's some extremely talented, quality voices who don't sell the big numbers, and my ears just don't. It can't.
Just can't handle it.
My kids either. Like I remember somebody being on TV. Crystal was maybe 4. She walked to the TV and she was like. And just walked off.
They know.
They know.
I love it.
We're ear snobs, but
sorry, Adele.
Hey, y'all. Hey, according to them Grammys and all that stuff back there, y'all can be ear snobs. Y'all can be ear snobs. So as for me, Adele, I love you, boo. Come do my show. These bougie Campbells.
Her music's great.
No, she's great. No, I'm just messing with y'all. No, she's great. What other profession did you consider pursuing other than the music careers that you guys have now?
Football.
Hair.
Really?
Yeah, I did hair.
Well, you can fulfill your dream,
I'm
brother.
Done. I'm done.
If you weren't done, them pants, they would have put you out of the locker room. You can play
Not
with
nowadays.
LeBron. And LeBron, you can basketball, you can do that. You can get with it.
I was a football guy.
Really?
Yeah. So, but...
Did you play in high school? You played in high school?
I played in high school, yeah.
Nice. And you see that smile? You see that arrogance?
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I did.
Oh, yeah. I was the man. I got it. All right. What is something you are bummed that you're still bad at? Like you hated that you're still bad at it?
I cannot play the piano. In his mind, he thinks, just sit down and play.
Yeah.
I try to play. I can't.
Yeah, I hate people like him.
He's always like, oh, no, it's just this.
Well, what gets on my nerves about this guy is he's already got 3 talents.
3 talents.
Then the Negro want to start preaching. It's like, yo, let us have something. You see what I'm saying? I can't go and produce Kanye, but you want to come up in here and preach. You're greedy, brother. You're greedy.
Now that leads to what I'm still bad at.
Okay.
Is when it comes to preaching. You know how some preachers can in our tradition, that hooping.
Oh yeah.
I want to be able to do that so bad.
But Warryn, you have a great voice. You can.
Right.
I can
he
sing,
just
but
doesn't
hooping
do
is
it.
a whole other thing.
It completely is.
It's a whole other skill.
But you got the tools to get there.
Man, I'm still bad at it.
But I can't find melodic motion, a melodic tone. I go straight to
funny.
screaming.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
that's what I do.
So you even the organ. Oh, do you know this? I don't know if you know this. I'm preaching at Bishop Alma's church, Psalm 23. I'm nervous. I'm scared. This is a big platform. I'm at Bishop Alma's church. I'm preaching. The spirit gets high. And all of a sudden, because, my church is mostly white. We don't have no Hammond B3. We got one now. Thank you, Jesus. But we ain't had one then. All of a sudden, the chord just, I look over, Baby Dub is on the organ. Oh, Jesus. I got scared. I hit eject. I said, bow your head, Saint. Let's lift your hands. I got to go to worship. I can't handle it. Oh, my God. True story. I look over you on the organ. That was the first time I met you.
That's the first time we saw you. I said,
I remember that
organ.
message.
I got scared. My multi-ethnic tendencies kicked. I was like, oh,
And because of that message,
I'm out.
when I preach Psalm 23, I still go into the isness.
Oh, yes.
I still do it to this day.
No,
Oh,
that's
that
so
was
good.
amazing.
All right. What's something you used to say that you don't say anymore?
Ooh, it's a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm never, ever going to allow myself to believe anything that I can't do, that it'll come out of my mouth. Say, I can't do whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't say what I can't do.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
To
good.
the point that we tell our kids we don't say can't.
That's good.
So I have
That's
a clothing line that we're launching called Ernest Paul. Ernest Paul is Ernest Paul Campbell, my grandfather. And my grandfather was set to be the first African-American on-air personality at NBC Radio.
No way.
Back in the 30s or whatever it was. So he gets there and he's doing this. He gets the first day, he had a remarkable day. He comes back the next day and there was a white man there who was another on-air personality who found out where his mother lived and where he lived and told him if he comes back there, he's going to kill his mother. He's going to kill this person, that person, So my grandfather quit. And so because of that, he instilled in my father and in me, because I lived in the home with with my dad and my grandfather. Every day, don't you ever let nobody tell you what you can't do. Don't you ever let, and it was stemmed from that.
That's amazing.
And so that's what the Ernest Paul thing is about, and there's a lamb that is like the lamb's head, which is the
Go
the
ahead
logo.
on, Reverend.
Yeah.
You got lamb's head and she got lamb's hair. Work that Campbell plan. That's what I'm talking about. Wow. What is something you pray about a lot that you don't talk about often?
My marriage, my kids, my family. It's all this house.
That's good.
What this legacy is, what they take with them out in the world.
Good.
Us, being joined at the heart. It's all everything. Those prayers that are near and dear are all stems
That's
from this
good.
house.
That's so good.
I pray that same prayer, but often joined with that is I'm always on my knees for revelation. Always. There's not a day that goes by that I don't call out to God for more revelation.
That's good.
Yeah.
When was the last time you had to say I'm sorry?
Probably this morning. I said, I'm sorry, baby. I know I shouldn't have said that. Sorry.
Wow.
I probably said every day I say
No,
something.
you didn't say it this morning.
I didn't.
No.
Maybe
You're
yesterday.
supposed to, though. That's why she
probably-
let
I
you in.
said it.
Today?
No, before I left. When we were at Dupar's. You were talking to me and sharing some things with me.
Yeah.
And I had to apologize.
You did.
Yes.
And you furthered your apology when you came home.
Come on now.
My God.
What is Reverend? What is
It's
this?
a
Is this
G-rated. Hallelujah.
Now we got to put a
Holy.
blur over your head.
No,
Lord
this is what the old bishops used to do. They said, hey,
Hey,
thank you.
mama. Hey.
Thank you.
I don't know what's happening.
That's good. What is something that is often misunderstood about you?
Often misunderstood about me? Mm-hmm. I still think people think I'm a lot nicer than I really am.
Really?
Are you saying you're mean?
No, I'm not mean.
You're just not as nice as people think you are.
Yeah, I just keep those thoughts regulated. Like this is a whole thing happening up here that I have to regulate. You can't say that. That's mean. Or, Well, I grew up in a very sarcastic house.
Right.
She is
My
very sarcastic.
dad-
Yeah.
It's bad.
But you don't think people see that about you?
No,
I think they do.
they don't.
Is that because people see you in comparison to your sister?
Maybe, but I'm, you know.
She's
I
much
grew up
more
in church.
sarcastic than Tina is.
I'm very good at the camouflage. It's bad, but every now and again I let it down.
You like it though. You can tell you like it. You just.
It's a gift. It's a tool. It is a tool. You don't have to say everything.
I love it. What about you, Warryn?
Mine is much more shallow. I have a demeanor that I think, you know, if I'm not smiling, people think I'm just mean. I'm about to kill somebody.
Yeah.
You know, so I got this thing where all my boys are like, you know, man, Warryn will punch you in the face, or Warryn gonna. I'm like, y'all have never seen me do anything like that.
Well, that's that death row anointing that's still on you. You picked
We
that up.
rebuke it, release
You
it.
picked that up in the studio, just
I don't know.
The scowl.
coming up with gangster lyrics and stuff.
Maybe, but it's been like that my whole life.
I can get that though. You got a hard look to you.
And I'm
But it's
so
either that
the
or a
opposite.
big smile.
Yeah.
It's one or the other. It's like
Well,
a big warm.
Because now that I
welcome
know
smile.
you like, I mean, the coolest dude ever. I think people will be shocked at how generous, how accessible, how nice you are.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But when you in your joint, when you in your vibe, you look hard.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because my father had the same thing, and my father, when we were little kids, when I was maybe 10 years old, somebody from the church called the house and apologized to him and said, "I'm sorry for what I did to you. I don't know what it was." He's looking at the phone going, "What?"
What are you talking about?
Because he walked past him, there was a look on his face. He was like, "I don't
Brother,
know."
focus.
But I get that look from my dad and my grandfather. They just had this,
No, I get that.
you know, if I'm not smiling, you know.
I get that. What's an area in your leadership that you're still growing in? You guys lead a company, you lead businesses.
Yeah.
What's an area y'all are still growing in?
I think follow through for both of us.
Uh-huh.
Follow through, discipline, consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Oh, yeah.
I think, you know, as it relates to music, I mean, for me, and I know that I work a lot, I want to be much more diligent in songwriting. I'd love to write a song a day. I'd love, you know, just to be more disciplined.
Have you ever taken the Enneagram before? Mm-mm. Y'all need to check out the Enneagram.
Enneagram?
It's kind of like a personality test, but they give you numbers. So it's 1 through 9. And the number then tells you about yourself. It's an ancient instrument used for discipleship early on, way back in the early days of civilization, and now it's kind of made its way around, but it's extremely accurate. So a 3 is like a perfectionist. They have a drive, but then it tells you all the profiles of a 3 and probably their childhood of a 3 and how 3s show up in relationships and dynamics. So all that stuff. It is fascinating.
I mean, it sounds like human development. I think some human development courses.
So y'all should take it and then see how y'all's numbers relate, because they'll say an 8 and a 3 go good together. You know, it's a whole thing. But as I hear you talk, I can hear that drive.
Though.
No, but it's you have a drive that other people, like you just said. You said, I know I work a lot because you hear all the time. You work a lot because you got to drive.
How do you do?
But it doesn't feel like that to you. It just feels like Tuesday. It just feels like that's what I do because of the drive. That's what I'm talking about. But it helps you understand that, and it helps people who work with you understand you, because you stand out to most people because they don't get it. They just think this girl gonna hurt herself. Yeah. She working. Right. And for you, this is natural. Right. Like, I'm trying to figure out how I can write 1 song a day. And other folks is like, what? So that's what I mean. It's understanding and really helping other people understand your dynamic. But I get
Enneagram.
that. Yeah, Enneagram. Yeah.
Enneagram.
Yeah.
And see, I'm the quiet perfectionist.
Yeah.
I'm not an overt perfectionist. Yeah. I'm like, but inside, like I always know.
The expectation is high.
It's really, really high.
Yeah.
Like I don't get many compliments from them.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how y'all's dynamic complements and works against each other. Me and my wife, when we took it, we spent half the week saying, oh, so now I see why it's kind of like that, revelation, kind of like that. So what area do you need to grow in, Warryn?
Appreciation. You know, learning to appreciate the people that work around me and for me.
That's good.
You know, and just showing that gratitude more often, because I don't celebrate. So when I have a victory, and this is just my upbringing in music, in the music business, my publisher, who was like one of my greatest mentors, his name was Big John Platt. John didn't allow me to celebrate when I had a hit record. Because he says, nobody cares about that, man. What are you doing? What are you celebrating for? Nobody cares about that. All they care about is, can you do it again?
Right.
So do it again. Do it 20 times. Maybe we'll have a little celebration, but don't celebrate. I don't want to hear about that record no more.
Wow.
So when I carried that into this, you know, what we do is like, you know, Mary just kept going, kept more hits, because wasn't about all. They won their first Grammy, and it really wasn't a big. I mean, it was big.
My friends threw a party for us, but we were like, oh, okay, cool.
Let's get the next. We got to go. We got to go to the next.
Wow.
We got to get to the next one. Get to the next one. Because, I mean, that's what builds the legacy. Not that one time you won that Grammy that one time.
But out of that, though, you're learning.
Yeah.
I need to stop and appreciate and celebrate.
Appreciate and celebrate those
and
things.
that's okay.
Yes.
And that doesn't take away from my tenacity
Yeah.
and my drive to keep doing it.
And I'm older now, so I know where to place it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when I was in my 20s, you know, you would over celebrate.
Yeah.
You celebrate so much, you forget.
Turn up.
Yeah,
right,
you
you
just,
go.
I'm
taking off a year. Yeah. No, that's good.
I done made it. No,
That's good.
But now I understand to, you know, I try to appreciate and be understanding, you know, when of the people that are around you that work just as hard as you do. Like Misty works just as hard as we do, probably harder because she has to juggle both
Of our lives and work.
And
and
it's a
stuff.
lot.
Well, and then what I've discovered is, all right, so I'm gonna get y'all to take the Enneagram, and then we're gonna have a follow up to see what y'all's numbers are. Because I think you're a 3 and an 8. I think you're an 8.
And what's an 8?
And a 7. It's someone that's big on control, that's authoritative.
Yeah, all right.
It just has clear black and white lines, and you don't cross an 8. If you ever cross an 8, it's hard to recover because you're about loyalty and anyway. So it's interesting. But anyway, what I learned is that the weight of my words as an 8 are way heavier than I could ever imagine. So when my thank yous land on people, it's inspiring. But when my criticisms land on people, it's life taking. Like the words are heavy. You know what I mean? Because I could say it. Now let's go hang out. Let's go kick it. And they're like, you just crushed my world because I look at your words so heavy and they mean so much, and you tossed it out, and just so. I get excited about saying hard things to people because it's out of love, and I was like, so confrontation ain't really hard. I kind of like it because I get to put it out. But the weight of those words, I had no idea. So what you're saying is, in this season, giving out weighty thank yous to the people around you changes your leadership, and it changes the environment and the atmosphere that you call people to work in.
Absolutely.
It does, man.
That's fascinating.
It just really. I wish now that I was appreciated when I was in those situations.
Yeah.
You know, it would have done.
Because you needed a
good
thank
for me.
you.
Yeah, you needed.
Yeah.
Just to like a pat on the back every once in a while, like, man, that was good. Somebody to notice.
Yeah.
You know, it's not
Somebody
a whole
that
lot.
cares, because I mean, it came in the way of accolades and awards and stuff like that. But the people close to you that love you, their thank you means something different.
Yeah. I think it was a mentor told me, the church can love the sermon, but the pastor always wants to know, honey, what did you think? Honey, what did you think?
That's all
Honey,
I
what
care
did you
about
think?
at the end of the
Like
day.
when you get in that car on the way home, so babe, and when they don't say nothing,
And sometimes they don't say nothing.
bro, I'd be like, so babe, what you think of the message? She's like, oh babe, I'm sorry, it was great. It's like, thank you. Like it does it, man. It still does it to you. So it means a lot. All right, last question, and then we get out y'all's house. Favorite cuss word?
That is hilarious.
A favorite cuss word?
Favorite cuss word?
Well, you know, cuss words are different.
Okay.
Because some cuss words ain't cuss words to you, right? And so I say crap all the time. But when I say it, like my kids go,
Yeah.
we don't cuss in our house.
Well, my mama would have popped me in the mouth if I said crap.
Oh,
Yeah.
I couldn't say dang.
I couldn't say
growing up.
dang, swear. I swear. You what?
We couldn't say lie.
No, lie. Tell a story.
Tell a story.
And I say crap all day.
Wow.
I remember when I
What the
first met, I
crap?
was like, "What the crap?" I was like, "You just want to say something else, but
I
you
know.
can't."
That's just a word I say it all the
I
time.
used to say what the piss. Even worse, even more vulgar. I'm from Mississippi. I was like, what the piss? It was
I've
so
never
fulfilling,
heard
though.
that one.
It was so fulfilling.
But
Hey,
everything
that's my
is crap.
t-shirt line. Don't nobody take that. That's going to be my t-shirt
Right.
line. What the piss?
But I would say crap for everything.
Yeah.
That crap is dope.
Right.
I love that crap. Oh, this is a bunch of crap. What the crap? Everything was crap.
Yeah.
Like that was like Nate. And so my homeboy started calling me filth. So you don't
Eddie
cuss,
Murphy,
you just say
Bill
filth.
Cosby.
I was like, what? I didn't even know what they was talking about.
That's good. Well, yo, this interview, this crap was dope.
This crap is dope.
Thank y'all so much, man.
You're welcome.
Erica, thank
Thank
you
you so much.